Good morning, everybody. Welcome on in. Got a good show for you today. We're gonna be pushing. So, start with bench, go from there. Hey, welcome on in, Hodel. Good to see you. To you too. Warm up a little bit more. Oh, morning, Kareem. I'm doing all right. How about you? Hey, good to see you, Dodge. Oh, haven't seen you in a minute there. How's your life going there, Dodge? Things over in Carolina? By the way, how is audio visual? Should be good. I'm feeling pretty good. I think I'm gonna dive right on in. Here for. Do I want to try anything heavier today? I don't really have a spotter. We would just go at 275. Go for the 8 to 10 rep range, ideally. We can knock out sets of 8, I'll take it. When you're doing a workout song, trying to pick the right one. All right. This one's kind of weird for me right now, so you can. But the quality of the audio that comes in, if I'm listening to it while I'm streaming to you guys, isn't great because I record the audio through my headphones to give you guys better audio quality. So I could switch it off and then listen to it. So maybe that's what I'll do. Chili, good to see you. Welcome on in. Paperwork for a lender. Oh, you're gonna get a loan? I mean, what you gonna get a loan for? You going back to school, or certainly don't think it's a mortgage. At least I would hope not with current interest rates. You're gonna attempt to buy a home? Congratulations, but why? Trying to run around here is stupid. Sure, but are you really sure you want to sign up for a 7% interest rate? And I'm not going to question your wisdom there. You know the market better than I do, but oof, that's uh, that's tough. I'm not sure I would do that. All right, let me go ahead and hit the first set here. It's 275. Shouldn't have any problems repping this. Come on. It's not good. Uh, that's a bit of concern. If I'm only hitting 8 reps on the first set. I want to live here much of my adulthood. I'm making a bold move. If you really found a house you like, then sure, but I don't know. For me, I would wait until interest rates came down, but that's uh, that's your call. You know the market better than I do, so you know I would caution you to have a plan to refinance in a few years, just because paying 7% interest on a six-digit loan is rough. Okay, you're getting okay. So you have access to yeah. A lot of first-time homeowners get a lot of special loan programs in South Carolina. I did not have access to any of them because my income was too high. So, congrats. Okay, so that was an eight rep set. Not ideal. Although this may well be my last week of the cut, mercifully. So tired of dieting down. So I guess eight's about on par as to what I would normally do. I don't feel too bad about that now. It was a clean eight. So if we go back any further, do we have seven? No, seven. Yeah, sets of 6 to 8 is normally what I've been hitting with this. So you see any other examples? Yeah, 8, 7, 6. Okay, go back a bit further. Yeah, even in March at the beginning of the cut, I was only 8 rep and 275. I don't know why I thought I could get 10. Well, regardless, we're gonna stick to this. Besides, so this is our prime mover exercise, so we're looking to, do something like that anyway. All right. Are you gonna roommate? Yeah, definitely would consider a roommate if I were you. Um, you saw firsthand with me how well that turbocharged my finances. I would strongly recommend it. Ghost Watcher in the Sky? Okay, go ahead. Turn that on. Alright, Ghost Watcher in the Sky. Let's see what we got. 7. Not bad. Do a Larson press set after this, and then we'll do a drop set. Yeah, so we'll do 2 more sets of bench. We'll close grip set. We'll hit a 2 close grip sets and 2 JM press sets. This pre-workout is doing nothing for me this morning. All right. So what's that total weight on the top of, yeah, right arm's gonna falter a little bit, especially on the last few reps. It was a 7 rep set. If I'm not getting close to that point, you know, that means I'm loafing. So, what's the weight on top of the 45 bar? So this is 45, 2 plates is 135, 2 more plates is 225. So this is 2 plates, and then this is a 25-pound plate here. So this is the total weight's 275 for this. So we're benching 275. Yeah, I know, Dodge. I know you of all people have seen the positive examples of what roommates can do in terms of being a homeowner. Obviously, you have to be selective, but uh, if you do end up going the buying the house rate, that's what I recommend. Um, I would also recommend at least having something for a down payment because PMI is a scam. My general position on home ownership is if you cannot afford to put 20% down on a home, you cannot afford the home. Obviously, if there are programs to help with that or avoid PMI, I know there are some state programs that help you with that. It's a different story. But if you have to pay PMI, think very, very difficult, like very, very long and hard about whether or not you really want to do that. Down payment help FHA only requires 3.5%. Damn. What's wild here is 3.5% of any home you'd want to buy here is still an insane amount of money. That, like, if I sell my home in South Carolina, which I may yet do, it would not be enough for a down payment here. Like the entire, no, I'm not talking the equity I own, I'm talking the entire house value, which of course I still have a mortgage on. Now I don't owe a ton on that mortgage, and it's a low interest rate, but yeah, it's shit's crazy. That's, I just accepted if I continue to stay here, I will never own a home. Never. Not to mention taxes and HOAs are so high here that they're really, unless you really believe that, housing values are going to continue to rise the way they have, which is possible. I mean, it is a lot of, I have a hard time justifying that kind of cost. All right, let's hit this next shot. Still running on this song by Ghost. All right, this is a Larson press set. The Larson press, you can put your legs up like this. To activate my abs, I like sticking them out. The reason you would do a Larson press like that is it eliminates leg drive, makes makes it focus on the chest. Now, obviously, for a conventional bench press, if you're going for a PR, use what tools you have available, including leg drive. But if you're looking to isolate, throw a Larson press set in there. Not a bad idea. That's tough. Maintaining balance on a thin bench like this is not easy either. So that was only a 5 rep. Normally I can get 6, but I was feeling my scapula to start to slip off the bench. It's just not ideal. All right. So next set's a drop set. You all have seen me do drop sets before. What it really is 2 sets for the price of one. The way this works, hang on, I'm gonna write this down. The way drop sets work is I bang out as many reps on 225 as I can, get up, drop a plate off of each side, and as fast as I can, dive back in to hit as many reps at 135 as I can. The idea here is to really burn out your chest, really force you to hit that fatigue point and push it as far as you can. All right, that was Watcher in the Sky by Ghost. Okay, so we're gonna go for, typically I can get at least 12 on 225. I mean, I 8 reps, 7 rep, and then Larson 5 rep, 275. So I should have no problems getting into double digits for this burnout. I'm gonna stretch. Still feel a little bit stiff. I'll tell you what, on the Larson press too, did not help. I hit legs yesterday. Uh, After yesterday, I biked 16 miles. The day before, I biked 24. So 40 miles of cycling in 2 days, followed by a leg workout on the second day after a 16-mile bike ride. It was rough. Uh, yeah, so yesterday, I actually did get a temporary, the permanent one will come in the mail, Hawaii driver's license, because around here, if you show that at certain places, for instance, if you want to go to Diamond Head and you're a tourist, you have to sign up for a time. If you just want to show up to Diamond Head and you're either military or you have a Hawaii driver's license to prove, hey, you're a local, you live here, you're not just visiting, you can go whenever you'd like. There are a couple other examples of, they call it the Kama Aina discount. Um, I wouldn't call myself Kama Aina because I've only been here for a few months. I intend to stay at least for a couple of years, but the point is, for the $40 it cost me to swap licenses, first off, it means I don't have a CDL anymore, which I'm kind of glad about because I don't intend to go back to driving buses anytime soon. And more importantly, uh, God forbid, things happen. I get a speeding ticket. The cost of a ticket is much more expensive with a commercial driver's license. Leg workouts upon leg workouts. I mean, there is a reason my legs look phenomenal right now. Like, right? The definition's pretty good there. I don't know if the lighting helps with that or not, but so yeah, it's definitely pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and hit and blast them a little. I'm gonna go ahead and hit my go-to song for my drop sets, which is "Toys in the Attic" by Aerosmith. We'll hit that. We'll hit "Close Grip," and then we'll hit "Jam." Should be good. Yeah. All right, we got it. Let's do this. A little bit more. Yeah, pre-workout. Ain't doing shit. What's surprising is they sell a caffeine-free equivalent called Pumpocalypse. I've actually found some decent results with that. This is the bucked up woke AF, and it hasn't done shit. I'm very underwhelmed. Like I don't feel like it's doing anything at all. All right, here we go. 16. Come on. I think that was 18. Ah, damn, that's good. All right, maybe the pre-workout is kicking in. I don't know. God, just feeling it after that though. I guess I can't really pack bounce, at least not with this on. Oh, well, what are you gonna do? That's a community gym, so I can't really just take it off. Um, so the next set's gonna be close grip. This, we're going on the heavier side for close grip, and then for JM or skull crushers, going more for the high rep stuff. My rationale is for JM press and for skull crushers, right? You're putting a lot more torque on your elbow by default. Uh, so in terms of preserving the joints and the ligaments, it makes a little bit more sense to do lighter weight work at that weight. Whereas close grip, it's more of a push. You're still using your triceps, but it's a slightly different, right? It's the difference between um, a push down and say extension. It's the angle at which uh, the torque is applied onto your elbow versus one exercise versus another. So yeah. All right, so that was 4 sets of bench. We'll do close, then I may do incline on barbell today. I'm not really sure. Usually I like to pair incline with dumbbells. We'll see on that one. I'm not sure. I might do incline on dumbbells today. So we were doing what, sets of 7 to 8, 5, 7, and 8 on bench. So need to be doing sets of 10 to 12 on incline. Could do that with a barbell, could do that with a dumbbell. We'll see what's crowded. Although, again, this is why I get up early. It's 7:15 in the morning here. So the gym's mostly empty. But again, I do that as a courtesy to the other people in here, right? You don't want it to be peak crowds coming in here and trying to stream. That's rude. So, I reckon, if people are getting mad that I do this on a Saturday morning, that's their problem, not mine. All right. So we go post bench. Should be able to get at least 6 here. I'd like to get more like 8 to 10. If I can't get 8, we'll reevaluate for the second set. Yes, sir. I could have probably gone for 9 there. We'll take 8. Let's go for 215 on this one. See if you can't get a little bit heavier. Hey, Surrender, good to see you. Welcome on in. Over 2.5s. We want 5s. There's one. And there's another. So let's see. What else has been going on? Sleep-wise, I've not been going to bed as early as I should have been. That's something I need to fix. Yesterday, uh, in my old school RuneScape clan, I got awarded a Bandos Godsword, which is great, but I had to redeem an old school bond to obtain it. So basically, in essence, I got a free bond, which means I got membership for the next 2 weeks. So we'll probably do an old school stream later. I've been requested by my clan to do Desert Treasure, so we'll probably start working towards doing that. So that will be fun. I've got a fair amount of stuff to do to get to that point in the game, so gotta sleep that good. Yeah, so that was another thing. So, right, previously, one of the big issues here is that because I live on the main uh, street within this residential area, especially on the weekends, I get jerks at night who come in on their crotch rockets, Harleys, and souped up cars, usually blasting music and also revving their exhaust. And so that's been hampering my sleep somewhat. Um, and I didn't have the ability to fix it until this week. You'll notice I'm wearing a different watch. This is a Garmin Instinct Surf, an Instinct 2 Surf. The reason I picked this is because it's got a vibration alarm, which means I can wake up uh, while having earplugs in. I have to sleep with earplugs here. It's unfortunate. It's really one of the few downsides to living in this place. Uh, and if I'm still here next year and I want to renew my lease in this apartment complex, I may talk to the managers and be like, hey, is there any way I could move buildings just across or something? Just because it really bugs me. But the earplugs seem to be a pretty good solution. Uh, I've got a flanged pair that I got from the clinic on base. They were gracious enough to give me one, so we'll see. All right, this is 215. Let's hit another set. We're going way too slow right now. I need to speed it up a little bit. Yeah, so the fact that I got 8 there means I should have hit a ninth rep on my previous set. That's okay. All right, then move down to 145 and hit jams. I'll get into 135 actually. Probably better that way. Yeah. Hit jams. You know what? We're here. I might as well do barbell incline. Nobody's over in this section of the gym, so. Now 135 is not a ton of weight, but jam press is a lot more difficult on the results. Okay, so a white noise machine, right? I have a box fan that's pretty loud, and yeah, these are souped up cars and motorcycles. They're loud enough to get over that. The other issue is my apartment is right at tree line, and because I don't have air conditioning, I got to keep the windows open. Otherwise, it gets very stagnant, very stuffy, and I start sweating, which is not conditions for sleep that are ideal. And I'm not going to uh, go to the extent of getting an in-house air conditioner. That seems a bit ridiculous. And even if I did, the slats on my windows would not really muffle the noise anyway. So with that in mind, uh, because it's right at tree line, one of these people in their crotch rockets revs their engines at the right time. It wakes up all the birds, and the birds keep squawking for 15, 20, 25 minutes afterwards. It's frustrating. But a white noise machine doesn't fix that. It's debating between over-ear headphones and this. The trouble with over-ear headphones is a lot of the time I'm a side sleeper, and if I'm sleeping on my side, having a giant headphone that I'm basically resting my whole ass skull on, not comfortable even with a pillow. So yeah, I go with earplugs. All right, so we're on to jam press. So for those of you who don't know, jam press is kind of a good little hybrid between a close grip and a skull crusher. So you arch your back, you're gonna bring it to about your neck. So the goal is kind of like this. Nine, that's tough. Yeah, jam presses they're difficult. Hey, Winter Raven, good to see you. I love I love white noise machines. I understand the value with them, but for my situation, it doesn't really work. John, good to see you, bro. Those freaking dinosaur ass looking arms you got, massive biceps, and then I mean, it's not like your forearms aren't weak, but anyone with biceps your size is gonna look like they have T-Rex forearms. I mean, dude, go into the fitness channel, look at the post John makes himself, and the fact that he calls himself a dinosaur and tell me I'm wrong. Dude is a power dinosaur. Dude's freaking. He puts up some monster numbers, y'all. By the way, if I get any mods in chat, I can't do it on mobile, but give my man John a shout out. Give Dodger a shout out too. Um, they John streams weightlifting and Dodger streams. Actually, I don't believe I've seen Dodger on in a while. Dodge, you still streaming? All right. Next up. Come on.
Yeah, we're gonna do incline on barbell today. I love JM press for the way it makes my triceps feel. I don't love JM press for the way it makes my elbows feel. So I feel like after about 2 or 3 sets, even at a somewhat lightweight like 135, I'm not really looking to do more. Switch over to incline. Let's see. We're looking to do 10 to 12. We'll go, I think 185 for incline should do just fine. And we got 3 sets. Once we're done this, we'll hit probably shoulders. Hey, thank you very much to Winner Raven. I appreciate that, man. That's one of the slightly unfortunate things about having to stream on mobile. Is there are certain things I'd like to do, but the Stream Elements app does not have the ability to do. The first is for me to type in chat. I can't. I would have to open up my Twitch app, go into Stream Manager on my Twitch app, and then do it all from there, which is kind of time consuming. This is not mobile Twitch. I use the Stream Elements app. Mobile Twitch is even more broken, which is why I use the Stream Elements app. I'm going to be doing a lot of inclines, starting to feel a bit better. But really, how so? When you say feel a bit better, like feel stronger, your numbers going up, do you feel like you're getting a better burn? What's your rep range? How many sets are you doing? Because like, John, real talk, if you're doing something, you're one of those guys where I listen. If you give advice, it's advice worth listening to. And anybody who doubts the advice you give needs to look at your numbers and reconsider. Dude weighs less than I do and puts up more weight in every single category. Absolute legend. All right. It was 12. To be honest, it felt pretty easy. I might go up to 195. Like that was, I'm pleasantly surprised with how easy that was for a 12 set. I was expecting that to be more difficult than it was. I felt like I could have probably had at least 2 RPE there, or sorry, 2 RIR. That's reps in reserve. Y'all, take a quick break to get a little bit more water and to use the bathroom. So nobody's gonna steal it. Gym's predictably pretty empty. Give me just a moment, y'all. There we
water bottle here. I'm getting a better carryover, even raw and incline with the small block. I'm doing working sets with 315. Flat bench feels a lot stronger again on the unrack and overall positioning. Interesting. Louis XO, good to see you. I have not seen you in a hot minute. Yeah, I moved to Hawaii. Gosh, what was this? 2 months ago. All right, so I actually got a story to share on this. And this is one where I need to talk with more locals and figure out what is the way to be respectful. Because like, right, you're supposed to pronounce that Hawaii, right? Like with the break between the two I's, the Okina. I got told by a local the other day like I was trying too hard. And I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't. If I just say Hawaii, people here get mad because you're the Hallie who's not trying. And then if you try to say it correctly, people get mad because you're the Hallie who's trying too hard. I'm like, okay, so what exactly am I supposed to do here? Kind of look, the locals here have every reason to be suspicious of newcomers, and especially white newcomers because of the history. I get that, but it's like I'm trying to do the right thing, and I don't. It's like, right, like tell me how not to piss you off. It's like, and I asked that, and it's like, just be chill about it. I'm like, that's so vague. That doesn't help at all. Like, I'm trying my hardest not to offend you, and in doing so, I'm offending you. And it's like, I don't know. I think it's my guess is it's just grief they give every new person who, especially every new white person that comes here, and you just have to learn to deal with it. And then eventually, if you get here and stay here for long enough, people just kind of stop doing that. They accept that you're local. It's the same thing with like trying to pick up and say some pigeon phrases to try and communicate with people who speak in Hawaiian Pidgin here. If you don't do it and you don't understand it, you're seen as the ignorant Hallie who isn't bothering to try and learn the culture. If you try it, you're seen as the Hallie who's trying too hard. It's like, I don't know what to do. Look happier. Might be in Hawaii for Christmas. Oh, all right. Well, if you are, for what it's worth, what island? Because um, I've been thinking about this for Christmas. Actually, you know what? Let me do another set before I keep on gabbing because I'm going so slow right now. So that was good. That was 195. I might try 205 at this rate. So befriend a true local and start there. I've been trying, right? You have to remember, consider where I work. Where I work, there are some locals, but like people are friendly here. I don't really feel like people go out of their way to make friends with new people. I think a large part of that is justifiable because a lot of people come here thinking it's paradise, realize they don't like it, or realize it's not what they thought it would be, and then leave. I don't think I'm gonna be one of those because, like, I really did try to do my homework beforehand and know what I was getting into. For instance, you know, I've complained a few times about uh, the cycling infrastructure or lack thereof. Not so much in uh, proper downtown Honolulu. It's pretty good there, but trying to get to Honolulu from
Salt Lakes or Moanalua or Pearl Harbor. There's just a big hole, especially around the Kalihi neighborhood, that just there doesn't really seem to be any appetite to fix it or even see it as a problem. And it's just frustrating because if you actually had that as a pathway, I mean, I talked to other people, at Pearl, if there were a safer way to bike from downtown Honolulu to the base, but remember, the rail isn't going to get to downtown Honolulu for another 5, 6 years at the earliest. If there was a proper way to bike, a lot more people would do it, and that would probably decrease a lot of traffic. But nobody seems to think of that as an urgent priority. And hey, it's their right, right? I'm not I'm not trying to say how to, run things around here. That would be presumptuous, but it just surprises me that that is seen as a non-priority, given again how notorious traffic is here. I will say, for its part, the military does not seem to really be interested in helping that either. And that really blows my mind because the military is all about trying to find efficiencies and trying to work with the local population. You know, there's a there's some friction, and again, justified friction between the locals and the military here, but that one seems like it's a win-win for both sides. So I'm very surprised that it doesn't get embraced more. Your recommendations? Ever plan to do a side trip to Pearl Harbor? All right, well, if you're in Oahu and you want to meet up, very happy to hang out with you. Looking at Honolulu because Waikiki looks amazing. So Waikiki is the tourist area. That's not to say it's bad. The beach is lovely there, and the hotels are world class. But if you want to experience the island as most locals live it, at least take one trip to get away from Waikiki and Diamond Head. It doesn't really matter where you go, but I would say, you know, look around a little bit. Um, you can get to understand it more. Again, I'm not a local, so at least not yet. I, I'm still new here, so don't take my advice as gospel, but that's where I would say. Uh, Give me where to go if I want the best one. Let's see, you say you love beaches, right? So there are so many good beaches here. You have to ask for what purpose? For sunbathing, for surfing, for having a picnic, for bodyboarding, for body surfing, for fishing, right? Like it's a very open-ended question. Um, Generally speaking, if you want more sun, you stay on the leeward side, so it's south and the west chunks of the island. If you want a little bit more cloud cover, you go over to the windward side, like Kailua, Kaneohe, that area. And then if you want waves, you go to the North Shore. Now this differs on the seasons, but most people come to visit. I think peak tourist season is in the winter here, so which I mean makes sense if you're living in a cold, dark part of the U.S. Or you know Japan, which is where a lot of visitors come from. You want the warm, sunny vacation destination, so it would make sense to come in the winter. But in the winter, the waves are really killer on the North Shore. But don't go to the North Shore unless you know what you're doing. Uh, it's a little bit less friendly to tourists in general. Like the North Shore kind of wants to keep to itself. And again, understandable, but the waves are also seriously dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. They're big. I mean, remember, this is surrounded by thousands of miles of ocean, so you can get some pretty killer waves coming in. But even if you don't want to go to surf yourself, it's quite fun to go up to the North Shore and just watch the surfers who've been here their whole lives doing it. It's really impressive. There's a lot of balance involved and a lot of coordination. You really do have to know what you're doing, but it's very, very impressive. All right, let's do our third set here, and then we'll move to shoulders. All right, that's 11. I'll take that. So 12 on 185, 12 on 195, and 11 on 205. That's pretty decent. All right, so we're gonna move over to shoulders now. Yeah, you know, it's another example is right. So I thought, huh, well, Hawaii has a very unique culture, right? They've got their own language, really languages. Uh, you've got proper Olelo Hawaii, which is the Hawaiian language, and then you've got Pidgin Hawaiian, which is a sort of a Creole or a patois, the same way that Louisiana Cajun might be, or like Gullah in South Carolina. Have I surfed yet? So actually, when I visited California, I tried surfing, but thanks to a series of concussions in high school, my balance is not the best. Never really has been, but it hasn't gotten better in the years. So I think I'm probably going to do more bodyboarding. And a lot of surfers look down on bodyboarding, and maybe rightfully so. It's certainly easier than surfing, but because it's easier, it's a little bit more accessible. And with bodyboarding, you can ride a greater variety of waves uh, at a lower skill level than you can with surfing. So, you know, I don't know if any of y'all watched Rocket Power growing up, but they had the four main characters, and one of the there was the kind of the nerdy white kid called Squid, and he moved to the location from Kansas, and he would use a bodyboard for the longest time. So that, you know, if you're new, you may be better off trying to bodyboard. And I will say, if you're trying to learn to surf, you could actually do pretty well starting at Waikiki. Don't stay there if you get good, but the first few times, one, because there are a lot of instructors, so it's very easy to get lessons in Waikiki. Um, I think usually, this is not always the case again. Seasons kind of do define this. Uh, in general, the windward side tends to be calmer, or not windward side, sorry, the leeward side tends to be calmer. So if you wanted to learn to surf and you get to the point where Waikiki seems a bit too easy, you want to start surfing like breaks instead of whitewater, probably what I've heard from people I've talked to here is Eba Beach, or like the southwestern edge of the island, is where you'd want to go as sort of a next level if you get good enough to where Waikiki seems too easy. Uh, so that's, you know, again, take my advice with a grain of salt. I'm still very new here, so I do not want to come off as the expert who knows everything about this island because I do not. Yeah, the movie Blue Crush, see one more chill, let's try to beach to camp now. I mean, California beaches aren't the best for surfing. Newport is okay. So, what I've heard in California for surfing is that avoid LA County, but Orange County and Ventura County are pretty good. Uh, like down towards San Onofre and then up towards, not quite all the way to Santa Barbara, but like up in that direction, like past Oxnard. Again, that's what I've heard. Um, the friend who I tried surfing with was in Venice, and he seemed to get decent enough waves. Venice wasn't super crazy that day, which honestly worked out great because I had no idea what I was doing. But he seemed to say Venice can get some decent waves sometimes. Long Beach apparently used to be an excellent place to go surf, but then they built the port and they built the sort of the seawall to make it easier for boats to come in. And so Long Beach is now super calm, so nobody surfs there anymore. Oh, wait, hang on. pretty easy. I mean, the other thing too is I definitely don't want to be the new guy who gets in the way of all the experienced surfers and pisses them off. Surfers are kind of territorial uh, by nature. And again, I'm quoting local friends who have told me that. So it's like, I think in general, if you don't know what you're doing and you try surfing, if you want to try surfing, you know, try lessons in Waikiki. It's kind of accepted. That's where a lot of beginners or a lot of visitors go. Uh, if you get good at it, go ahead and try another beach. If you've been out there for a few hours and you're still having trouble riding whitewater like I did, you may want to try bodyboarding. That's, I mean, everybody learns at different paces. So I don't know. To me, the other thing with bodyboarding is too, right? Because I don't own a car, I could, in theory, attach a little rack for a bodyboard and still get around. A surfboard would be a bit cumbersome on a bike. I've seen people do it. You can, but it's just kind of awkward. You're looking paler compared to last time. I think that's the lighting. I'm definitely tanner than where I was a couple months ago. You got alert. All right, well, I appreciate that, Winter. By the way, how many people we got in chat right now? I'd like to know. That's 9. That's good. Okay, so I got 12 180. That was 200, and I only got 9. We're gonna stick to that. That felt pretty good. So see, we've done 7 sets of chest, 4 sets of triceps, and that's 2 sets of shoulders. That's 7, 11, 13. God, we're way too slow. I need to pick it up. Let's tell me that tanning topless isn't really accepted there. No, I would say in general, your friend's right. There are some beaches where nudity is okay, or being topless is okay. Uh, they tend to be a bit more uh, off the beaten path. There's one on the North Shore, supposedly, called Polo Beach. Um, I went there. Apparently, the nude friendly section was to the right, and I went to the left, thinking, oh yeah, I'll find something eventually to prove, hey, this is okay. And then I ended up being the only person in that section, which, hey, a beach in paradise to myself. I'm not complaining, but the jury is still out on whether or not it actually is okay there. I haven't seen it with my own 2 eyes, but if you go into Google, you can see all the reviews saying, hey, nudity's okay here, nudity's okay here. If you're staring at other people and making them uncomfortable, well, then it's not the nudity that's the problem, it's you. But go full nude. I mean, I'm assuming nude equals topless here too. Again, I didn't see anybody else there, so I can't confirm it. Uh, maybe I'll get to do that some other point, but yeah, tanning topless I don't think is as accepted here as for women anyway. Uh, I'm male, so this is kind of an academic question for me. It doesn't really matter. All right, let's go third set. It's 9. I want to get 10. I need to rest a bit more. So I think we'll hit dips next. Yeah, no, I get you. Um, can I get a check on viewer count? Because I have no idea what it's looking like right now. I'd love to know.
we'll do dips next. And then we'll do dips, some shoulder dumbbell exercises, some push downs with single arm, a couple more shoulders. We'll finish her off with chest flies and then abs. I'm not judgmental. I mean, 18? Cool, thank you. Yeah, Stream Elements says it has a little viewer count icon up there, but it just always reads 0. It doesn't work. I don't know what the problem with that is. I don't, why would I be judgmental, right? In general, the less you care about what other people think, the happier off you are, right? And that's not to say you should go out of your way to be disrespectful or aloof. So, like, you know, I had someone I trusted, someone who I would consider both a friend and a coworker. He is a coworker. I would consider him a friend. Told me there were a couple things I was doing that was seen as abrasive or disrespectful or off-putting. So I'm human. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to try and learn from that and try and be more respectful and maybe talk less and listen more. It's the best I can do. I don't, you know, hopefully, I've been racking my brain over the last, day to try and figure out what it was I could have said that could have done that. I've got some ideas maybe. Again, it's mostly been just kind of, it's more or less that I'm baffled about why everybody drives those lifted forerunners and tacos here. I get they're reliable vehicles and they're off-road, but what exactly, it's not even that I hate on it, it's that I don't understand it. I don't understand what, I guess, like, I understand if you live on the Big Island, right, where it's like legit off-road, or if you live in Molokai, sure. But Oahu is mostly urbanized at this point. I don't know what off-roading you would really do with one here. Those are serious, terrifically built. I mean, they're about as reliable as it comes. But if you just wanted reliability and economy, why wouldn't you just get a Corolla? I don't know. Yeah, apparently it's part of the culture. That one makes me scratch my head. I just don't understand it. It's not. I'm not trying to be judgmental or rude. It's just it doesn't make sense to me. Come on. One more. Yes, sir. Nice 10. All right. At least I got 10 on the last rep there. Took a little bit more time to rest. It's the same thing with like why biking isn't seen as popular here. It just doesn't make sense to me because I mean the cost of living crisis. Everyone on this island can acknowledge that. Everyone will state that it's an issue. The traffic, everyone will state that it's an issue. Fuel prices, everyone will state that it's an issue. The only way to solve that is to get people out of cars. You can't just build more parking in the lanes. There's no space for it because it's a small island. That's just the disconnect that I don't understand. I think that was a word between you and the beach. That's your choice. It makes absolutely no difference to me. I couldn't care less. I mean, there are enough pretty women to where the effect of any, like, there are enough pretty women here to where the effect of women is just kind of gone. It was an initial shock because, right, having come from rural South Carolina, I kind of forgot what pretty women looked like. Um, at least, there weren't that many of them there. Uh, not to be rude to the ladies of the Palmetto State, but look, when you have a state with a 50% obesity rate, the statistics kind of tell the story.
We'll say one thing that I really love here, though, is the diversity. So, right, because of its history, Hawaii is by far and away the most diverse state in the union. Uh, it's the only state where I believe a majority of people are classified as Asian, although there's so many mixed race people here that the concept of race in and of itself kind of gets a bit muddy here sometimes. A lot of people are mixed. Uh, but because of that, right, in terms of, a lot of the people who say like you can be beautiful no matter what uh, your genetics are. I think Hawaii is kind of the poster child for that because there are beautiful people of any color and any race, more or less, entirely here. Um, be you white, be you Hawaiian, be you Asian, be you mixed, be you, you know, whatever. Uh, it's one thing I really like about this place. That's one of the other reasons I'm very confused about why biking is not very popular, because people here seem to care a lot about their fitness. Well, if you're going to spend forever, if you're going to be going along, on the interstate at 10 miles an hour stuck in your car, it's no faster than biking, so why not bike and also get in better shape? Now, I'm never trying to mean this in a disrespectful way. It's more of a confusion than anything else. Like, I get why South Carolina doesn't do it because it's not densely populated enough. It's pretty miserable in the summer. Uh, like at least here on Oahu, really nowhere on the island has in the entire state has that excuse of weather. At least the weather here is. If you find a way to complain about the weather here, I think that's a you problem. All right, let's go dips. Ah, there's something so satisfying, by the way, about doing dips with two plates swinging between the legs. I'll let the picture speak for itself, but oh, it feels good. Hey, what's going on? Who we got there? Kurzov, good to see you. It's hard to tell because of your name was showing up in green, and like the one chunk of that window has a bunch of plants outside of it. It says green on green. I couldn't tell, but no, I do love it here. There are parts of cycling infrastructure where I've nearly gotten run over or killed on because it's just poor planning. And today I'm actually going to try and sit down and write my representative, not for the state, not for the federal government, but just for the district within my county, the precinct, about this. This is a local issue and it demands a local solution. And I'm not saying it has to be you need to build a bike lane here, but at the bare minimum, the signs that lead up to it have to be removed because it tells cyclists that the bike path continues down a fairly steep hill, and then the bike path ends, and your two options are to crash into some chains and bollard posts, or get on an interstate, which is not only unsafe but illegal, and it's not just unsafe for cyclists; it's unsafe for cars too. Just because I'm a cyclist doesn't mean I don't have sympathy for the issues drivers face on this island. I just think most of those issues are self-inflicted. All right. No dry update at time. I mean, this is such a beauty. This is the most beautiful state in the union, guys. There's a term used at Pearl Harbor called no cutway, which is Hawaiian for the best. And that's sort of the mindset. The shipyard wants to be, right, America's no cutaway shipyard, America's best shipyard. Uh, and I think a lot of people are really proud, and a lot of people really do believe Hawaii no cutaway, or Hawaii's the best place to live, or Hawaii's the best state in the union. And I love that. I think no matter what state you come from, you should be proud to come from that state, or proud to live in that state if, like me, you don't really have a home. Uh, but I think there's a difference between, right, saying you think you're the best and saying you think you're perfect. There's nothing to improve. I do worry sometimes. I mean, this occurs in every state. I mean, there are things I rightly criticized, I think, South Carolina for. The big one is still celebrating Confederate Memorial Day. Look, I don't care if your if your great 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 grandfather served honorably. I can respect that as someone who has had a lot of people serve in the military. Uh, but at the same time, he fought for a cause that wanted to tear the United States in two. And as someone with no home, the only thing I can really call myself at the end of the day is an American. I'd call myself a Southerner too, to some extent, because I've lived in the South more than anywhere else. But I think a lot of Southerners would look at me and say, no, he's not a Southerner, even though I was born in the South and believed the majority of my life in the South, at least in parts. So I don't know. All right, let's go. Are we still live? Yo, are we are we still going? My phone had a little glitch there. Okay, cool, cool. Thank you. So, you know, but take Confederate Memorial Day, right? There are three states that still uh, celebrate that, and it's South Carolina, Alabama, and Mississippi. The last one is especially going, given that Mississippi is, I believe, the state with the highest black population in the country in terms of the percentage. So that one ought to change. But, right, there's a big difference between me saying that and sitting here saying, I know how to run Alabama or Mississippi better than the locals do or anything like that. It's just, that one seems a bit like, like common sense. I don't, it doesn't sound unreasonable. I don't know. All right, we're gonna hit some shoulders. We'll hit some dumbbell shoulder press. I'm gonna do alternating. Mr. Question. I see it. Just trying to get to it. I can't just immediately answer questions in the middle of a thought. I'd rather not have just half expressed, unexpressed thoughts, because if I do that, people might interpret it and say, oh, well, he meant something he didn't mean. So we're going to lower this. Bring it up just a touch. There we go. Needs to be raised a bit higher, I think. There we go. So we're going to do shoulder press now with, we go alternating dumbbells, and we're going to go a cross grip. Usually I don't do these, but I haven't done them in a while, so it's good. It's a good idea to vary and mix things in that maybe you haven't done for a little while. Okay. If we're going to be
Going out to take photos. What would you pack for the beach? Sunblock is the biggest one here. And look, right, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm a race other than white. I am not just Hallie, but very Hallie. I burn. And because Hawaii is the southernmost state in the country, if you are not used to very intense sunlight, you will burn too. And skin cancer is not worth the bronzed look. If you really want the bronzed look, get a spray tan. Um, would you pick topless or bikini for me? Probably a bikini. It really depends on the beach, right? You got to remember, I don't own a car, so the only beaches where being topless is okay are accessible only by car. So kind of answers that one. Um, Not pack. Oh, what would you pick? Not pack. My bad. Sorry. Let's go. There's 60s on here. Shoot. I forgot to turn off the set timer for the last one. My bad. All right. It says I'm burning a stupid amount of calories today, which I'm quite happy about. All right. Next set. All the way up. There we go. 4, 5, 6, 8. 2 more. 9. Come on. 10. Ooh, that's tough. I like that. With the private pool, I don't have access to a private pool here. There's a pool in this apartment complex, but it's certainly not private. Like at this point, I don't know what you're trying to get me to say. Like, if you would like to go, come to Oahu, go topless somewhere, you have the right to do that. You also have to face whatever consequences are going to come from that action. That's not my problem. It's yours, right? Anything I say here too could be misinterpreted. I feel like I have to walk on eggshells here because, right, what you're asking me to do is you're asking a man to tell a woman how to dress. You do realize like what a minefield that is for a guy, right? If I'm looking at might have one. Well, then great, go for it. I don't care. It makes no difference to me. Look, I'm desensitized to it. I don't normally see it because why would I? But if you want to find a place to go topless, that's entirely up to you. I'm not going to tell you not to. I'm not going to encourage you to. It's your choice. You're an adult. You have free will, and you should exercise it as you see fit. You just have to deal with whatever social consequences occur from it. There may be none. There may be some. It really depends on where you go. I don't know where to go because I'm new to the island and I'm not a woman. I was talking about this. Apparently, again, I've accidentally stepped on some toes recently, so I'm still learning how to be respectful too. So I feel like I'm the last person to be authoritative on this subject. Like, you're really, I need to ask a female friend this, I guess. So I will, but heaven knows, like if you're asking me, I have no idea, no earthly idea. Actually, you might want to talk to. There's another girl on Twitch named Jelly Polly. She lives on a different island, but she might know.
6, 7, 8, 9. Come on. Oh, nice. I know. I know you're probably frustrated with the non-answers, but you have to put yourself in my shoes. I don't want to tell you something, have you come here, get in trouble, and then say, "Oh, but BullMuscle said I don't want that. Don't want that smoke." And if you say, "Well, why don't you find a local?" I'm trying. Take the rest of your family beach and get told off. I don't know which beaches. I'm gonna flip the camera. We're gonna do raises here. Yep. I got this again. All right. This is a bit low actually. Raise this up just a touch. There we go. That's good. I know. Again, it's not the answer you're looking for. I get you're hunting for an answer here, but I'm not going to get myself in trouble just to satisfy a hypothetical answer that really doesn't help you at all. You don't like that, I apologize. There we go. Look, I get it. You want to go topless with me. You're not the only person, but keep you keep asking me a question I don't know the answer to. Now, how many more times I can say I don't know? Yeah, yeah. That's the other thing, right? As much as I love the beach, I'm here for work. So, 5 days a week, I'm in the office. I don't have that luxury. All right, let's hit another set. 6, 7, 9, 10. God, shoulders are looking good. Like the definition. There we go. Let's go this 15. All right. So we got cable pushdowns next. I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. Apologize for this. I'm drinking a lot of water because I'm talking so much. It's making me have to pee. Oh, hydrated at least. set, we're doing push downs, single arm, which is convenient because it is right here. There, there. Okay, so yeah, let's do the way to do it. Just gotta figure out the right. This is you guys further back, just a touch. So the goal here is to do triceps extension, not like that. Actually, tell you what, this is probably a better angle. Y'all can see it. You go this way. Oh yeah, that's much better. So single pull down. When was the last time you did it? I just got to find the right. Gotta find the right weight to do it at. Ah, okay. So we were doing it at 65. That seems good to me. Triceps pull down. Single tricep pull down or push down rather. If you're doing it at 65, first off, I do not need this. I prefer 64 is the closest thing on this. So So the reason I like this one so much, you really get a good, you can almost turn it into both a push down or kind of like an extension and then a kickback. So if you rotate the wrist, right, your underhand here, your overhand here, it really helps get a good push on it. It's way too heavy. I did not do the math right on that. Oh no, yeah. I was doing my double push down weight right. He's 64 at this, so it's 32 at this. My bad. That's still too heavy. This is not supposed to be a. This is not supposed to be a high weight exercise. It's supposed to be 15 to 20 reps. We will bring this up just a touch more. That's right. Come on. At least 15 reps here. Try to minimize the amount of shoulder you use. If you're trying to do the kickback, it's going to happen a little bit, but try to minimize it. Honestly, I may go down weight further and go for closer to 20 reps. But what you must do to one arm, you must do the other. So yeah, we'll go down right. We'll go to, that'll be 17, 19. Again, 19 pounds is not a lot. This is not an exercise where high weight is going to. It's okay to use low weight on hypertrophy oriented exercises, no matter what your size is. As long as you're feeling a good burn there, then it's worth doing. 700 calories burn. I feel like that's an overestimation, honestly. I'm not going to complain, but 700 calories in, what is this?
An hour and a half seems a bit high. I'd believe 400. I'd believe 500. Especially, I feel like I haven't hit today abnormally hard. I think maybe it's because I'm up early. I got more to burn. Honestly, I prefer morning workouts. This is the one thing I don't like about the hours of my job. I have to be up very early. So, right, given where I work, we have to interact with a lot of other military installations. Almost all of them are to the east. In other words, almost all of them are in a time zone that's further ahead than we are. So, 6:30 here is equivalent to 12:30. 6:30 in the morning here is equivalent to 12:30 in the afternoon in the East Coast, or during winter time, 11:30, because this state, along with I believe Arizona, are the only two that do not observe daylight savings time. Daylight savings time is pointless here. We're in the tropics. What would the value be? Really, I think the difference between the amount of sun you get in the summer and the amount you get in the winter here is like 90 minutes. So, switching the clock up an hour for a 90-minute delta seems a bit silly, and the state appears to think so as well. So that's why daylight savings time isn't here. I think Arizona's is because why would you want to save daylight in the summer heat? That seems, where it's 120 degrees. That seems a bit pointless too. All right, let's go. That's much better. Be able to keep my shoulder a little bit more in form here. And you can do cross like this, or you can face the machine and do more of a back. There's pros and cons to each. I think that was 14. Come on. Oh, shoot. I shouldn't have done that. I still have the other arm. Shoot. Did not mean to do that. Well, I guess we're going to do a superset here. I messed myself up there. All right, so this one we're going to lean back and do. Oh, God, that's burning. Ooh, yeah. Come on. 16. Come on, four more. Oh, there's the triceps burn. Shoot. Did not mean to do that either. Oh, well. I'm still getting used to using this watch. I wish I had a way to know if it was on a rest set or on an active set. I kind of have to remember. Or when I say rest set, rest break. 16. Come on. Oh, triceps are on fire. Let's go. Okay. So now we've got some chest flies, uh, rear delt flies, and then we have abs. Then we're done. Still just around 8 o'clock. It's pretty close to being done. So on this one, I'm actually gonna set up like this because this will be for rear delts.
So the idea here is you use the chest fly machine, but to hit the other muscles. So you're going like this. You're going outwards. You're squeezing the rear delts. Hey, Big Red, good to see you. So this is one for the longest time I put on a pull workout because it felt more like a pull. However, so the deltoids are kind of a weird muscle. You have the front deltoid, which obviously is the primary mover for shoulder press. The top part of the deltoid, which is an official term for it, I don't remember what it is off the top of my head at the moment. It's tilted. The top part of the deltoid, which is mostly shoulder press and especially behind the neck shoulder press. And you have the rear delt, which is it's an oddball. On some pull exercises, you're going to use it, but not all. For instance, on something like a face pull, which is very clearly a pulling exercise, you're working your rear delts. However, on some uh, shoulder exercises, on a lat raise, you can work your rear delts as well. So it's like I can make the argument for rear delt being either a push because it's part of the deltoids, which you work your other deltoid muscles with push day. I can make an argument for it for pull because in a lot of, not all, but in almost any pulling exercise, your rear delts will be engaged. So you can kind of choose one or the other. One of my favorite exercises recently has been to do lying side raises. Something I learned actually in an old video of Arnold doing it. I don't know if there's necessarily a right answer here. I think you can pick depending on which one. Gosh, it's almost 8:30. Which one makes sense for you? So I would say you can do rear delts either on push or pull, and there isn't necessarily a wrong answer. Pick whichever makes the most sense to you. For me, because I have such, I've been doing it on pull, I'm going to move it towards push. My rationale being, I feel like I have a whole lot more back exercises to do. So, right, when I do pull, I do traps, I do biceps, and I do lats, right? Uh, for me, because I have so many different lat exercises to pick from, and I feel like there are fewer shoulder exercises to do, right? You can only do variations of shoulder press so many times in one workout. And you can do front raises and side raises, but because of that, I think there are fewer shoulder exercises one can go through. And to get a little bit more variety in, I think it makes more sense to get a couple rear delt exercises on your push day. Again, your mileage may vary. Pick whichever makes the most sense for you. There's no wrong answer there. 115's right. Let's see. Yeah, that's about right. Big range of motion's what you want. Squeeze them rear delt muscles. Reps at 12 to 15. The other reason I like doing this exercise on push day is because I feel my triceps tense up. There's not much I feel like I can do to keep them relaxed during this. So if I'm working my triceps, it feels a bit more like a push. And again, there is no wrong answer here. If you feel as though rear delts belong in pull, I can totally get that. Jerry got booked in the Olympics. I think ceremony is a win for mankind. Hey, thank you very much for the watch streak there, Big Red. A main man from the Bluegrass State. I believe
So it doesn't say on this machine exactly where you're supposed to place your body, how tall up you're supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be about even, maybe a bit below shoulders for the rear delts. Your mileage may vary. Find what's comfortable, find what gives you a good burn. All right. So now we're going to switch it up and move to chest flies. This is our last exercise of the day. Now for chest flies, typically the way I like to do it is to go for a higher rep range. We've already done our sets of, 5 to 8 on bench, 10 to 12 on incline. So this should be sets of 15 to 20. The thing I've had the most trouble with chest flies is that a lot of the time uh, it can feel, the machines very much vary. And I think the chest fly, personally, is a better machine exercise than most machine chest presses. I like the balance requirement that comes to standard bench press or with dumbbells a bit more. So I personally think if you're going to do flies, right, so flies are really meant for control, tension, hypertrophy, and your balance starts to break down a little bit on, say, dumbbell flies. I like dumbbell flies, don't get me wrong, but in general, I feel like this is a bit more controlled and a bit safer, which is it's sort of my overall philosophy. I think machines, and especially cable operated machines like this, are the best uh, when you're using them for hypertrophy exercises because it offers a little bit more control, a little bit more stability, and you can focus a little bit more on isolating and burning a specific muscle. So let's go ahead, we'll hit this. I should have put this further back. It's all right. Yeah, that felt pretty easy. We're gonna do same weight, but further back on positioning to really get that stretch at the back. That was what, 190? Okay, yeah. Next machine or next set we're gonna do holds like a 3-second pause up here and a slow return. Really get the time under tension up. Hit up, again, the reason you do hypertrophy sets is to really get that burning sensation. Really feel like you're bringing the muscle to exhaustion. So that's sort of the other really nice thing about cable machines in general. Uh, Cable-based equipment, it's an even load, right? With a cable-based machine, the load here and the load here, it's the same amount of tension on the cable, it's the same amount of weight you're moving. With a dumbbell, right, say you're laying down doing flies, you can hold it up here forever. It doesn't really affect your chest that much. Eventually your shoulders and triceps might get tired, but you're not really squeezing your chest that much at the top unless you're making a concerted effort to do so. But the load is much heavier down here on dumbbell flies because, right, just think about the torque it's putting on your shoulder and your chest. It's the gravity is coming, it's, gravity's pulling straight down on it. You're perpendicular to the ground instead of parallel to the ground. All right. This one, we're going to take a little bit slower. Same weight, so it won't be that hard on weight, but really take the time to hit the reps properly. I like to stretch here a little bit more. 5, 6, 7. 12, 13. So that was a minute under tension as compared to 40 seconds for the previous set. And that was really burning by the end. It was only 14. So that's pretty good. Now for the final set, we're going to go down for a burnout. So if we were able to do 20 reps at 190, let's do, I really want to burn out. Let's do 150. Yeah, let's do 150 and see what it's like. So this will be our last set on chest. So my goal is to really squeeze it. My chest should be cramping up at the end of this set. And then once we're done that, we're gonna hit probably some hanging leg raises. Because today was a push day, I actually have some grip strength, which means I can work on hanging leg raises. I like doing that. I think that's a good idea, a good thing to learn how to do. Eventually, I got straps coming in, but we'll see how long they take to get here. I'd love to have them for tomorrow. God, would that be amazing? But I doubt it. It's one of the drawbacks to living here. Again, to be expected, right? If you're getting something shipped in from either the mainland or from another country, it's got to travel thousands of miles across the ocean to get here. It's a drawback. It's not even a drawback. It's really just an inconvenience. So, am I all that broken up about it? No, of course not. Is it, is it worth it? Yeah. It's one of those things that you have to understand what you're getting into if you're going to move to this state. And I feel like I do. The real only gripe I have is the lack of cycling infrastructure. And really, it's more of an Oahu problem than a state of Hawaii problem. Because right, like the Big Island is not densely populated. I understand why you'd need a car there. That makes sense to me. Especially urban Oahu, which is mainly the leeward side of the island. It's dense enough to where you would think there would be a better way to get around than just spending forever on the H1. What are you going to do? Ultimately, it's not even the state's. Well, okay, it's a lot of people's fault as to why that is. Assigning blame is kind of stupid. The Interstate Highways Act, obviously a big part of it, and its consequences. Yeah, I went there. Of course I did. It's a BullMuscle stream. You can expect it. Uh, the state definitely has biased its funding towards roads. The military installations on this island prefer everything to be done via car. So you got there's a lot of factors. I don't ever want it to seem like I'm just blaming the locals or blaming the culture, because that's not it. There's a lot of other influences. But I don't think car dependency is necessarily a car dependency doesn't have to be associated with Hawaiian culture. I mean, Hawaii existed first as a series of small chiefdoms, then as a kingdom, and then as a territory far before the car ever got here. So I think Hawaiian culture is a lot deeper than that. All right, let's go. Last set. We're going burnout here. Just go for reps. Once I get to 20, I'm going to go for holds. 13. Come on, 20. Oh, that's 30. All right. Form is definitely breaking on the last few, but I'll take it. All right. Actually, if we're doing hanging leg raises, we need this to be back here, and then for it to come up some. There we go. All right. So back just a bit more. Actually, move it up just a bit. All right. So hanging leg raises, pretty simple stuff. You grab any kind of bar. I prefer the cross grips. I feel like I have the most stability. You use your lower abs to bring your feet up. You can bend your knees to make it easier. You can keep your knees extended to make it harder. And you can hold at the top or use a plate. I like to hold. It's 10. So do 2 sets of this, 2 sets of cable crunch, and then we're done. So actually, let's talk diet for a sec. First off, I don't know if y'all can see the pump. Even though I'm not working bicep today, pump's starting to come back, starting to look a lot more defined.
I weighed in this morning at 214 flat, which is the lowest I've weighed in for probably since last year. My target for the end of this cut was 212, so we are 2 pounds away. Most importantly, uh, with the modeling show in 7 days, this is crunch time. Every single day has to be good from here till August 3rd. Temptations can't get the best of me. It's do or die time. And there are some reasons, right? Apart from this being my first modeling show, that I really care about hitting it out of the park here. The biggest one is that if things go well, I may get casted for a second modeling show in Washington State in November, which would be amazing because then I could go potentially see my mom for her birthday. We'll see. That's a lot of ifs, but the only thing, right, we talked stoicism. The only thing I can control is my own thoughts and actions. So I'm going to do the best I can. Hopefully it happens. If it doesn't happen, I'm not too broken up about it. All right, let's go next set. Six, 7, 8, 9. One more on this, and then we move to cable crunches. Chat's awful quiet today. How many viewers we got? Going for just a tick under 2 hours. But 2 hours is a pretty standard push workout stream. I always go slower when I stream because I'm right, trying to hold a conversation as well as lift. One, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9. I think I missed a rep. Starting to really feel it at the end, both in terms of grip strength and in terms of my abs. So that's good. All right, last set. Cable crunches. So, okay, that cable means taken. This one's free though. We'll use it. We'll hit up cable crunches, and we'll call it a day. There we go. This needs to be a lot further down. So, cable crunches. Tighten that up. Real simple. Get a rope extension.
want to get on your knees. So the idea here, to bend this down some. So the idea here is that you want to use your abs to crunch. You want to hold the cables up here. It's hard for me to get the entire perspective. But you want to hold the cables back far enough up and basically crunch with your abs while bringing the weight from the cables down. What's nice about this is unlike a sit-up, it's one of the benefits of cables. It's a uniform load. So the load here is the exact same as the load here. So it makes it beneficial. Need to back up a bit more. There we go. Oh, golly. Battery died. It's okay to take this. I would say go with a bikini unless there's a topless beach we have access to. So that's what I would say. Uh, it doesn't make a difference to me. I don't care that much. All right, come on, 2 more sets. Sorry, I can't give you a better answer, but I'm as you might imagine, the blood is not flowing to my brain right now. Hey, Midnight, good to see you. Welcome on in. Yeah, your own pool. I mean, that's terrific, but look, if you think the picks will be more fun that way, then do it that way. As a lifting related question, shoot, that's one of the biggest reasons I do this channel, honestly, more than any other, is that I feel really happy when people ask me for advice, I give it to them, and it actually helps them. There's no more gratifying feeling in the world than having someone say, hey, you mentioned this to me 2 weeks ago, and I did it, and it worked out well. Thank you. That's the best feeling I get with this channel. It's so rewarding to help people. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like, I don't know, just puts a better smile on my face than anything. But yeah, any lifting related question you want, by all means. All right, this is the last set though. Let's go. Come on.
go slow on this one. Come on, quit. Damn. Oh, and we're done. Oops. That is it. 2 hours, 3 minutes, 36 sets, 10 tries, 10 chest, 10 shoulders, 6 arms. It says 950 calories burned, but I kind of don't believe that. 475 calories an hour is a bit on the high side. I'd like it to be true, but I doubt it is. Cycling usually burns about 500 calories an hour for me, and walking is usually 300. So in general, I feel like anaerobic lifting will do a bit more than walking, but not as much as cycling. So my guess is I'm really more at like 700 to 800 calories burned for this. All right, you know what, we'll hit a couple poses because I'm dumping my shit this morning. It was a good workout. Maybe had some push-ups too. All right, so your question says, maybe half a year ago, I had been lifting consistently for quite a while. I was up to 130 pounds and I put on some lean muscle. I was stick thin before. Over the past couple months, I've lost it all because I wasn't eating or lifting due to stress and dropped down to 110. That's a big swing. Last 2 weeks or so, I've gotten back into lifting and bulking. Put on about 8 pounds, so still very lean. Maybe about 15 to 20% body fat, so you're somewhere around 118. I feel like my muscles are growing very quickly. Does that happen when you lose hella muscle and regain it? Yes. So, first off, noob gains are a really interesting phenomena. If you are new to lifting, you're much more likely to gain very quickly at first because your body is adjusting to new stimulus and because there's a lot more to gain. It's diminishing marginal returns in the gym. The more you lift, the harder it is to put on more muscle. However, I say that, but it is also easier to regain new muscle than it is to gain new muscle. So, especially because, right, for new gains, the pros of you being brand new and getting them is weighed out by the cons of you may not necessarily know how to do the form as well as you would if you were an experienced lifter. So you may not be getting the most out of it just because your form should get better with any workout over time. You should strive for great form no matter what stage of lifting you are. But just like anything else, the more you practice something, the better you get at it. So it doesn't surprise me that you regain the muscle fairly quickly. What you're going to find is you may hit a plateau though. So, if you get stuck around that 118, 120 mark and you're finding you can't quite, add a lot more muscle, look at your diet and then look at the workouts you're doing and maybe vary it a bit. Maybe add a bit more protein or creatine if you haven't been. Maybe try varying some of the workouts you do. If you're only doing bench, squat, dead, throw in some other workouts. If you're only doing hypertrophy 15 to 20 rep sets, maybe throw in some heavier sets. If you're only doing heavy sets, maybe throw in some hypertrophy sets, some time under tension, stuff like that. I was lifting for maybe 2 years pretty consistently before, but now that I'm regaining it, is it still newbie gains? I wouldn't call that newbie gains. It's right. So it's the same thing, right? Athletes regain their muscle after injuries fairly quickly, right? Basically, it wasn't eating or lifting due to stress over the course of a couple months. That sounds kind of similar to what, say, an athlete might have to deal with if, say, you got a concussion or you got you tore your ACL or something like that. So it doesn't surprise me that you gained it back very quickly. It's not newbie gains because you're not doing it for the first time, but it works somewhat similarly to newbie gains, if that makes sense. Do you think I'll hit that plateau when I reach out to my peak muscle or earlier? It's impossible to say. Your mileage may vary. So I would say maybe. I would guess that the answer is pretty close to where your peak muscle was. You may find that you smashed right through it. Um, but hey, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to Bullpen. But I would say don't get too discouraged or angry or upset if you do hit a plateau. It's natural and it does happen. We all hit them. You will have to work to figure out how to beat your own plateaus. I'm not saying it's inevitable. I'm saying it's highly likely. Again, everybody responds to stimulus a little bit differently. It's in this way, lifting is somewhat of an art and not just a science. I don't. This is one of the things I've long since preached against, is the idea that there is a correct form for everyone. There is a correct workout plan for everyone, and you must do things my way or someone else's way to see the best results. I don't think optimization works like that. People have different body physiologies. People respond differently to different types of training. What may work for one person may not work for the other. And that's not to say there aren't basic principles you should follow. Of course there are, but you, I, I think a lot of people in the gym get really wrapped around the axle over optimization, and it's natural. You want to do the absolute best and get the absolute best when you come in the gym, but it just takes time and experience to figure out that what that actually is for you. A great example is squat depth. There are some people, I tend to call them form Nazis, who say it is ass to grass or it doesn't count. I think that's a bit overkill. For some physiologies, ass to grass may be the most effective way to get a squat. For some people, it's better to go competition depth. In general, I don't say 90 degrees is a good idea. I think with 90 degrees, you're definitely leaving a little bit too much range of motion on the table. But I don't see the need to go ass to grass if it causes knee problems or if it causes hip problems. It may not necessarily be just a skill issue. It may be that's the way your body physiology works. It may be that you need to try low bar. Maybe that you need to try high bar. Maybe that you need to try lifting shoes or some kind of stretch to give you better mobility. There's a load of different conflicting and interacting variables. And because of all those different variables, I think the idea that there is, for instance, one squat depth that everyone should squat to doesn't make sense. And by all means, if you really do think your squat depth is the best squat depth, you have the right to think that. But I have the right to think you're a form Nazi if you impose that on everyone else. I should say form fascist because that's really what that is. Form Nazi is it's like Seinfeld, it's like the soup Nazi. No rep for you. It wasn't deep enough. Um, you know, Now if you're training for a purpose, for instance, say you're in the Marine Corps, you need to be doing full range of motion pull-ups because when you get tested, you will get tested on full range of motion pull-ups. You know, is that to say there's no benefit to a kip pull-up or to a partial range of motion pull-up? No, there's benefit to that. It can teach explosiveness. It can teach a whole lot of things. However, a full range of motion pull-up actually does have a lot of other benefits. So I think variation and training right to a purpose. What you have to have an underlying goal. If you're training for aesthetics, for instance, sitting there and doing 2 rep sets isn't going to do shit for you. If you're a power lifter, low rep sets are a great idea because you're training to hit that maximum explosiveness, that top number. But like if you're looking to, if you're lifting to look good, you got to work a little bit more hypertrophy. Try and get a pump. Try and get
more definition. And with hypertrophy, if you're lifting for an aesthetic, you need to diet better. Power lifters, right? The best power lifters, the strong dudes, they look like they have beer guts. Why? Well, it's because they're constantly trying to run a calorie surplus because they need that max energy for fast twitch reaction. They need that massive amount of energy to try and hit absolute maximum weight. Right. That's why when I was in South Carolina and I was on my bulk cycle, I was running surpluses. I was increasing my body weight. I was increasing my body fat percentage to try and get increased muscle. In general, you have to run calorie surpluses to build a lot of muscle unless you're fairly new to lifting. Or if you have excess body fat, right? If you're 300 pounds and you're fat and you know you're fat, right? If you're 300 pounds and you're not fat, you don't need my channel and you don't need my advice. It means you're already, an NFL lineman kind of person. But for most people, if you're 300 pounds, probably means you're fat. And if that's the case, no, you can still gain muscle while losing fat. But if you're at a fairly healthy weight already, you'll find it's more difficult to do that, especially after new gains have passed. So I'm gonna bang out some push-ups here, get a couple poses, and then we'll end the stream. Probably look at some more. This is just extracurriculars right here. Oh, God, I'm sore. Yeah, I'm feeling that in the triceps. Oh, the triceps are starting to cramp up. That's what we wanted. I wanted to make sure. I didn't feel like my triceps were starting to lock up, but that's proof that, no, I hit them good. I hit them good. That's what we did. All right. So, excellent. Let's hit some poses. So we're going to go switch camera. The light is not great here. See if we can maybe try to improve it a little bit. Maybe that's going to be a little bit better. The backs, triceps. Shoulders, rear delts. All right. I just feel like an idiot posing, so we'll stop doing that. Training mainly to build muscle, not be stick thin, but I'm also a boxer. Okay, so you're gonna have a compromise there, right? If you build lots of muscle, muscle is dense. If you do boxing, you have to, you have to worry about, is building muscle worth potentially going up in a weight class? Because that's something that could very reasonably happen. Only you can make that decision. So I would say I don't do much in the way of martial arts, despite this bitchin' Muay Thai shirt that my brother got me. But because of that, you need to decide, hey, do I want to go up in weight classes? Is that worth it? And go from there. Got any app recommendations? Got any calories? The app I use, my fitness pal doesn't have scanning through barcodes. It's a free option anymore. I do have an application for you. It's called a pencil and paper. I'm old fashioned. It works though, right? Here's proof. There. Sometimes, dude, it's the same thing with writing down your workouts. A pencil and paper forces you to remember it a lot better. Um, the other thing is it gets you off your screen. And I found that when you're not looking at your screen, it's better for focus. It's better for a lot of different things. So Strongly recommend a pencil and paper. Just my personal opinion. We're gonna add beans. Yeah, we're close to the end of the cut cycle. 2 more pounds to go. Weighed in at 214, dead this evening or this morning. So I have 1 week to go and 2 pounds to lose. Doing a show? Yep, August 3rd. Midnight vid, since you're new. Type in !Discord. I have a Discord where I've got loads and loads of really good content and advice. I often like to hang out there. There's also a ton of other people in my channel. We offer like a lot of gurus and such. So I'm not the only one with a lot of good knowledge and know-how there. Highly recommend joining Discord. I started doing a show a long time ago and you seemed against it at the time. So yeah, Vern, when I moved here to Hawaii, I got offered to do a show from a modeling director here, and I decided to embrace it. So I changed my mind. So what I'm gonna do now, there we go, phone off, and this, and there we go. And we're gonna figure out who we're gonna raid. So, because we're just about at the end of the broadcast here, been going for almost 2.5 hours. Question is, who do we want to raid? Got Bam Bam.